How's it going, you guys, and welcome to your morning cup. We started off with Uganda, and Uganda's presidential candidate Bobi Wine has been now in house arrest after crying foul play in the elections. Well, it turns out that the new Ugandan government has put Bobi Wine under house arrest for apparent corruption charges or such. Well, claims from Bobi Wine state that it is a blatant misuse of power and he is afraid for his life as well as the life of his family. He is under the impression that the sitting president is by no means ever going to concede till he is in power, until he breathes his last breath, apparently. Bobi Wine is supposed to be a pop star who rose to incredible fame and incredible political accords when he joined politics in Uganda and had massive backing behind him. As a matter of fact, people believed that this election would be a landslide for Bobi Wine, but turns out that it was completely the opposite of that, resulting in Bobi Wine now being imprisoned in his own house. The space race continues to get even more saturated. Virgin Orbit has now launched a rocket into space off of the back of its Boeing 747. Now, this process of launching rockets into space from an existing airliner during flight was something that was done way back in the day. As a matter of fact, people resorted to ground launches after that. For numerous reasons, as well as to stand out, you could say, Virgin is still going the old way. Virgin believes that this is the approach angle for its rocket launches, and whether the future of Virgin Galactic will be the same way, whether it's going to resort to being launched off of the back of a Boeing 747, or whether Virgin Galactic is going to hold a standalone capability of taking off from the airport, sailing all the way into low Earth orbit, and then sailing on back, still remains to be seen. Richard Branson is very ambitious with his projects, and what comes next for Virgin Galactic is anyone's guess. We move on to the WHO, and the WHO has claimed that there's a moral failure on a global scale, and it accuses the richer countries of hoarding vaccines as well as vital supplies from the poorer countries. The WHO says that this pandemic was supposed to bring us together under a united front, so that we understand that we have to be together if we have to move on ahead with this dark time in our history. But turns out that the richer countries couldn't care less. They are more worried about securing vital resources for themselves rather than ensuring that significant vaccines are also rolled out to those that can't afford it, to those that are in poorer nations, to poorer nations in general who can't just bombard the WHO as well as the richer countries with copious amounts of money just so that they can secure vaccine doses. As a matter of fact, one of the latest countries to receive the vaccine after intense scrutiny was Pakistan. Pakistan has now officially received the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, as well as Bhutan has now received the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The WHO has put out some very serious statements, and if any of them hold any significant value, we understand the fact that the future of humanity is not supposed to be a divided one and is supposed to be the exact opposite of that. We move on to Argentina, and a 6.5 magnitude earthquake has now hit Argentina's San Juan district. We've been seeing a lot of earthquakes, a lot of natural calamities recently, but the most feared afterthought of an earthquake of this magnitude is that of a tsunami. But luckily, no tsunami warnings are currently in place. Whether a tsunami warning would be sanctioned, still too early to tell. As a matter of fact, the geological department is currently on top of things, and when any further updates come out, we will keep you updated. We move on to the final story of the day, and the final story of the day is about COVID-19 deaths rising in the United States. 30 states across the United States have reported a rise in COVID-19 deaths. As a matter of fact, new COVID-19 cases with the winter surge now officially taking its toll. The United States suffers a longer winter period than most modern nations. But the fact of the matter is that the people in the United States are currently perplexed with the new election cycles coming into play and the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden being tomorrow, that's the 20th of January, understanding the fact that he needs to get a grip on what the United States is facing in terms of COVID-19, and which directly contradicts his earlier statements of stating that his approach towards COVID-19 would be very different from that of Trump. By the looks of it, appears as if the future of the United States might be more lockdowns. We will keep you updated on how President elect Joe Biden decides to tackle the COVID 19 threat. And until then, this has been your Morning Cup. We'll see you tomorrow for the inauguration special episode. Until then, take care.